Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticlowns. You're listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey.
I'm your other host, Nero.
These were episodes.
Two of these were episodes.
One of them was empirically not an episode.
So technically, we're talking about episodes 27 through 29 of Energon this week, but actually, we're really only talking about episodes 28 and 29 because episode 27 is one of the worst clip shows I've ever seen in my life.
I'm gonna lay down a hot fact for you guys. I didn't watch it.
You literally don't need to. Literally nothing is added by it. Okay. So I'm going to start us off very briefly by talking about the episode Team Optimus Prime, which is what this is an episode. The framing device is that Dr. Jones is like leaving the government on red after they've all come to Ocean City to talk to him about how he shot all of Earth's Energon into space. They're all pretty mad about that, but he's just locked in the basement and he's not talking to them. And during that time, his wife, and his daughter all talk about the extremely recent events of the past 5 episodes in a manner that suggests it's been a very long time when in fact it hasn't. The very first clip segment is literally from the episode that precedes it.
Perfect.
And the one after that is like 2 episodes before that. It is truly outrageous. The only thing...
No, that's Gem. That's a different Hasbro property.
Sorry, I just had to... I'd had to give a big sigh to that one. So there's only one thing that technically happens in this episode.
Okay.
And it's really stupid.
Okay.
So... all of the government people get tired of waiting to talk to Dr. Jones and just leave. So he's like, haha, my plan worked again. But then Alexa calls him and say, hey, come to Jungle City. Now, eagle-eared viewers may remember, didn't Jungle City explode because Optimus Prime had that thing where he talked about the futures in the past 5 times in a row? Well, you're right. He did, in fact, blow up Jungle City and the mountain it stood on. So Alexis brings Dr. Jones to the new Jungle City where they rebuilt the ancient ruins, which is not how anything works.
That's how it does now.
They rebuilt the ancient ruins, and also there's a bunch of Energon underneath the new city, but the Earth government claims it. But they hired Dr. Jones as a consultant. By the way, this is the last time in the series we're on Earth. So this doesn't matter at all. They rebuilt Teotihuacan.
Literally see you, Space Cowboy.
They blew up ancient ruins, and then Alexis says, we just rebuilt them on the next mountain over. That's not how it works.
Is now.
Fuck you,
I don't think
Alexis.
you're getting it. It is now.
Alexis says, actually, you can just rebuild ancient ruins and everyone. It's fine. Dr. Jones says, oh, I get it. But yeah, they're just talking about how everybody went in the big... they keep calling the rift the black hole in this episode, by the way. I don't know why. We're going to get into...
That's... well, I mean, I guess it is... it is pulling things in.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the rift, and literally none of it is visually clear at all. Speaking of which, let's get into the actual real episodes this week and talk about episode 28... Protection, or The Planets That Must Be Protected.
Neither of those are good.
Yeah, the English title is a bit more elegant, I guess. As an unseen search team closes in on the big space hole, we finally get our first glimpse of what lies beyond it. A field of planets, all birthed and nourished by Alpha Q's Energon sun. The Decepticons are exploring the best way they know how, blowing shit up and stealing Energon. However, they're not just gathering Energon for Unicron, but to resurrect Scorponok as a loyal minion. Kicker and Ironhide check in with Team Prime, who are still looking for Hotshot and the rest of Rodimus's boys. Shockblast wakes up on a planet of iron, which is constantly shifting and moving. Naturally, he freaks the fuck out and starts blasting shit. Kicker and Ironhide recently arrived on said iron planet, are alerted to his presence by said blasting, and go to confront him. They call this into the rest of Team Prime. After being worn as armor for like 2 episodes straight, Wing Saber and Optimus de-link, and Optimus tries to convince them that he's not actually just a glorified suit of armor and that he still has his own hopes and dreams, to varying success. Everybody surrounds Shockblast, but Optimus Prime wants Wing Saber to take him down. He struggles with wanting to fulfill his own desires, but after Shockblast grabs Ironhide in almost exactly the same way as poor departed Padlock, he goes apeshit and puts Shockblast in the ground, literally. The Autobots tie him up right as the Decepticons attack Iron Planet, led by a newly reprogrammed Scorponok. Alpha Q and Ironhide are at first elated to see their old pal alive and well, but it quickly becomes clear that this is not the Scorponok they once knew. The Decepticons raid Iron Planet and retreat, leaving Shockblast still tied up. Optimus promises Alpha Q to take care of his planets, while Ironhide and Wing Saber have a conversation about the infallible nature of the heart. Oh, and some new guys are going to show up soon.
And in the dub, at least, you get 2 for the price of 1, because there's one character who very clearly looks like one character and has a different character's name.
Yeah, so I don't know if they ever name themselves in these episodes, but I will just tell you who they are right now. So the search party who's been sent out by somebody to look for them is Cliffjumper and Downshift. Cliffjumper is the dune buggy guy, and Downshift is the guy who is clearly supposed to be Wheeljack, but...
No, reverse.
Nope, it's not. The dub gets this wrong literally every single time. The Wheeljack-looking guy is supposed to be Downshift. They consistently call him Cliffjumper for some reason.
I can't explain the expression on my face right now.
Consistently. It takes them like 7 episodes to actually get it right.
Zooey mama.
I don't know
cooking.
why. So, by the way, would you believe that in Superlink, his name is Wheeljack? But
I would.
Because in the Armada dub, they already used that name for a different character, they couldn't just name him Wheeljack. So instead, they gave him the name Downshift, who was just another like Z-list G1 guy.
They really did not think this through at all. Also, no. It's like crazy that on like the Superlink side that they kept using, like they knew which ones they used in the Armada dub. Yeah. Why did they keep using character designs that they already... I don't get it.
They weren't thinking that far ahead. So
there's no ahead to think to. It's the past.
But yeah, this Downshift and Cliffjumper constantly get their names switched.
I get why in Armada they chose the names because they weren't thinking that far ahead. That's fine. That I get. But there's no reason once you're in Energon to not look at what the English dub is doing and going, maybe we should pick literally any other of the like hundreds of characters in this franchise's roster.
I've talked about it. There was like a lot of weird miscommunication between Takara and Hasbro during this series. Like I've talked about how Takara from the start like had the idea that all of these like new bodies and recolors that they would make later would be reformatted versions of like old Armada characters. But Hasbro instead wanted them to be new characters, and in the toy line they are marketed as such. But Superlink was, unlike I think Armada was dubbed first and then aired later in Japan, it's the other way around for Superlink. Superlink came first, and so Energon has to do the Takara stuff. It's all just a big fucking mess. It's all just a big old mess. Cliffjumper's named Overdrive. Cliffjumper is named Overdrive in Superlink, by the way.
Okay.
They don't do much in these episodes. But yeah, who does do much in these episodes? Wing Saber.
Wish he didn't.
He doesn't move good. His model, even more so than most of them, does not have the capacity to move very well. God, yeah, all of this stuff with him dragging out, like Optimus telling him, "Hey, man, it's okay to like be your own person," and Wingsaber telling him, "But, sir, God made me to be your tool."
I have to say, I do not enjoy that Wing Saber has to like fully disassemble himself into separate pieces to
weird.
become Optimus's coat.
It's very strange.
I don't like that.
What an existence he must live. Do you think he's still conscious? Like, think about it. Is his consciousness like connected to Optimus? To sleep.
I
hope he goes to sleep.
He has a little nap.
I hope he does.
He dreams of Padlock.
God, there's so much Padlock in this episode.
Okay. Can we talk about this? Okay, first of all, a couple lines I do want to mention. Early on, I can't even remember what they're talking about, but Snowcat says something, and it has like concerns about something, and Megatron responds by saying, "Don't you worry your frozen little brain about that." So that's pretty good.
He's still got it.
When Kicker comes over to the other side, immediately, like, Alpha Q is on him saying, like, you shouldn't have come here. Mm-hmm. And, like, he's doing it in a tone of Gladys after you incinerate the neurotoxin inhibitor.
Yes.
He's literally like, "Hey, Kicker, good news. I just figured out what that thing you incinerated did."
Yep.
He's not, again, like, the whole mood around Alpha Q is still very bizarre, because he's actually not a bad guy. He just makes like incredibly bad decisions.
He's doing his own shit.
Yeah.
He wants to do his own things, which are good things.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like in the dub they're much more on Alpha Q's side. They're like Optimus literally looks up into the sky and says, "Alpha Q, I swear I will protect your planets." We'll see how that goes.
Speaking of Optimus telling people about protecting things, so Wingsaber and Optimus have this conversation, and Wingsaber is talking about how much he misses Padlock, and there's all these flashbacks that last like, they're still black and white images that last like entire seconds, which again does not sound like a lot, but 24 frames
and it's
of this black and white image is a lot.
It's just a close-up of Padlock's face, which once again, Padlock is a guy literally cobbled together out of different characters' like model parts. He's not a real character design.
There is an exchange at the end of this conversation that I enjoy very much just because of the delivery, which I know is not intended to sound this way, but the way it sounded. So at the end of it, Wingster was like, I think about him all the time, and Optimus goes, "I know, Wingsaber."
I know. Whenever I'm linked with you, I'm just constantly hearing, "Oh, Padlock, I'm sorry. I'm fucking sick of it."
I know it's not supposed to sound that irritating, but it does sound like, "I know, Wingsaber."
Give it a fucking rest already. He wasn't even like a real character. He didn't matter, Wingsaber. I'm sorry. I got a little heated. Padlock was a beautiful soul.
Shock Blast doesn't have the strongest character ever in, fiction, but whatever character he did have gets completely annihilated in these two episodes.
Really?
Like it is truly remarkable how, like, the character assassination that happens in these two episodes.
Yeah.
He spends both of these episodes flipping back and forth every about 3 seconds, I would say, between like begging for his life and actively antagonizing whoever he's talking to.
Yes.
Which is an interesting tactic.
In Superlink, it's much clearer that like he's just kind of going along with, like, he is acquiescing to Galvatron through gritted teeth, as it were. Because in the next episode, it's really funny that like they free Shock Blast, and he says, "Oh, I'll help you get Inferno," and then after he tries to go to Inferno, Galvatron and Nightscream show up anyway, and he gets pretty mad at that. But Starscream just goes, "It doesn't matter who gets him. It's just that all that matters is that he gets got." And then Megatron turns around and goes, "Okay, So you have to take Starscream's orders, Mirage's orders, Snowcat's orders, Demolisher's orders. Like, actually, you're now like you're the intern now. You're like the coffee guy now.
I mean, that's how it is in the dub as well.
Right. It's funny when when he goes up to help in the battle in the second episode, he calls Demolisher Aniki in the dub.
That's funny. That's very good.
But he says he's so clearly fucking mad.
Oh god, does he call? I hope he calls Megatron Oyabun.
He actually finally calls him Galvatron Sama, which is the thing that convinces him to go rescue him. He's like, okay, he said it. Now I'll save him.
He goes back and forth, and to me, it's like the funniest part is actually when he gets captured.
Yes.
Originally, because he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna tear you to pieces," and then like all the Autobots show up, and then he's like, "Come on, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy. It's my birthday. I'm just a little birthday boy."
Just really real. He only has two moods, and they are the opposite sides of a spectrum, and he is a broken metronome that is just constantly swinging between each side.
And like literally immediately after doing this, he manages to get like Ironhide captive, and he's like, "Ooh," like to Wing Saber. He's like, "Ooh, feel familiar? Ooh, look, it's the same thing that happened to that other guy I killed." He like that's what sets Wing Saber off in his like sleeper agent trigger word, basically. Yeah. But like. First of all, while he's doing that, Ironhide suddenly becomes very submissive and breedable. I don't know what's going on with that. But like he's like caught in like a chokehold by Shock Blast, and he goes, help me, Wing Saber." And it's like, what happened to you, dude?
Yeah.
At the end of all of this, Ironhide congratulates Wing Saber on a job well done, beating Shock Blast's ass literally into the ground. And goes, "You got your man."
He goes Naruto mode on him.
Yeah,
he's doing after him and shit.
He goes, "You got your man. Feels good, doesn't it?" While they look at him in a BDSM harness.
Once again. Also, next episode, what's going on? I
mean, it's the same harness, to be fair.
True. But, like, we haven't gotten to the Inferno's branding play scene in the next episode. What is going on with Galvatron? What's up? What's going on with the Decepticons?
I mean, everything is sex except sex, which is power.
That's right. That is, usually Megatron's motto is peace through tyranny. But for Energon only, they did change it to that, which was very strange.
They were listening to Dirty Computer a lot.
Yeah.
The last line I do want to talk about is I can't even remember what it is that happens here, but like Megatron and Optimus are fighting. It's obviously over Shock Blast, like who gets to kill Shock Blast probably. Yeah. But at the end of it, I can't remember what the Autobots do, but Galvatron looks at Optimus and goes, "How dare you?" And Optimus responds with, "Oh, please."
He punches him in the face. That's what happens.
Oh, really? Is that what it is?
Optimus just socks him in the face.
How dare you? Oh, please.
There's another funny dub line here that TFWiki has, which is towards the end of the episode, presumably, where it's Megatron and Starscream. Megatron goes, "On second thought, let's watch Wing Dagger take him apart." And Starscream says, "You mean Wing Saber, sir?"
Yeah.
And Megatron's
Dagger,
like,
Saber,
same difference, Starscream.
Yeah. As per usual, I only watch these things while I'm on my phone as well. So like sometimes I miss
giving
action
it the
shots.
Respect it deserves.
Sometimes I miss action shots, like apparently Optimus punching Megatron in the face. But oh please, great delivery,
yeah.
Great delivery.
I really love. Oh please, like you have no room to talk here, man. Yeah, is there anything else?
No, that's it for protection for me.
Other than, once again, saying, like, reiterating that, number one, this show basically just scanned the toys in as their designs. Number two, Wing Saber's toy was like a G1 level brick, no fucking articulation. because he existed as an accessory for Optimus. So as a result, number 3, he animates horrendously. Like it is. He's probably one of the worst looking characters in the show, which is really quite impressive.
Optimus is?
No, Wingsaber.
Oh, Wingsaber, yeah.
Like on his own.
Though I do think, I'm gonna have to say, after like these 2 episodes, I think the worst looking one is the Super Link.
Oh well, that doesn't look good either. But at least,
But
oh wait,
the Super Link of Wingsaber and Inferno, is it?
Wait, no, they don't. No, Wingsaber can't superlink with anybody but Optimus. I think you're thinking of an Ironhide and Jetfire.
No, it's not. It's someone with Inferno. And maybe it is
It's Prowl and Inferno. It's Prowl and Inferno.
Prowl and Inferno.
But that's because anytime Prowl is the pants, it looks fucking terrible.
It looks terrible.
He's got that weird
terrible.
Well, number 1, it's chicken legs, and number 2, he's like his weird spoiler thing gets turned into a loincloth. It looks so bad.
All of them look so blocky in their Super Link forms. Yeah. But holy shit, that is a box with chicken legs.
There are some where it's like you can clearly tell that these figures were kind of designed to interface in this way. Like I think Ironhide and Hotshot's combined forms generally look fairly contiguous.
It doesn't look great. Like it still looks bulky, but it's like it's fine. Whatever.
And I think Ironhide and Jetfire, specifically, it looks better when Jetfire is the top one.
Yes.
Because when Ironhide is on top, it just looks like Jetfire becomes really high-waisted grandpa pants. That's what it looks like to me. But yeah, anything with Prowl immediately just looks like huge dog shit because you get turned into like chicken legs.
It's so bad.
So, speaking of Prowl and Landmine and Hotshot, let's check in with the next episode, the one with all of the good animation in it. Imprisoned Inferno, or as it was originally broadcast in English, Imprisoned Inferno.
Oh, is that? I didn't even notice. I'm so mad at this episode because, as Nero just mentioned, for like a solid minute, it looked really good.
What if the whole show looked like this?
And
God damn it!
So mad that that's not what this show looks like.
Megatron looks so good in 2D in this design. He looks great. Like, yeah, because it's just like it really is like a fucking hole open, like, you know, a rift opened in our space got ripped up and we saw into an alternate world where Energon looked decent. And it's like, God damn it. And it's really funny because during that scene, Starscream is standing in the background and he's still normal style. So you cut from beautifully animated 2D Inferno screaming in agony to like Starscream's fugly ass 3D face just staring. All right, it's
so hard. It's genuinely so heartbreaking.
Imprisoned Inferno. Shock Blast is being bored out of his mind by his new guard Inferno's lack of character. His stoicness. Megatron is also talking to him from somewhere, I guess. It's not really clear. He and Starscream debate about rescuing Shock Blast, but once he begs properly enough, they decide to head out. Kicker and Misha land on a lush jungle planet full of crazy prehistoric life and tell Inferno about it, as he took quite a liking to Jungle City. Meanwhile, our 2 search party guys, Downshift and Cliffjumper, do a little comedy routine, and Rodimus is, he's somewhere in space. It's extremely unclear.
He's on the other side, for sure.
What is clear is that he lights a beacon for Hotshot and the others to follow. The Decepticons descend on Iron Planet, causing Inferno to take shelter in a ravine. Shock Blast offers to prove his loyalty to Megatron by capturing his former guard. As Optimus and Ironhide rush to his aid, Hotshot and the rest of Rodimus's boys are trapped in a black hole somewhere vaguely in space. They are eventually guided out by Rodimus's beacon. Shock Blast, Starscream, and Megatron eventually corner Inferno, and Megatron demotes Shock Blast to being below Demolisher and fucking Snowcat somehow, before getting to the fun part, torturing the hell out of Inferno by attempting to brand him as a Decepticon. Inferno holds on by remembering the love he has for Earth and its beauty, but only barely. Ironhide once again confronts Scorponok, who says he has never heard of Alpha Q, and that Megatron is his one true master. Rodimus and Hotshot swoop in to save the day, and the Autobots rescue a barely conscious Inferno as Megatron retreats, rather ominously saying that Inferno's ordeal isn't over yet. As they take Inferno to Jungle Planet to heal his wounds, his Autobot badge begins to shift. Some character drama is happening again.
I'm so mad. Yeah, it's so good. I was like, oh fuck, that's why I liked Armada. Fuck.
Yeah, like it didn't look great most of the time, but like most of the time it looked passable, and also sometimes it looked really good. Like once again, the whole last episode of Armada just looks amazing. Yeah, this whole torture segment where they animate it in like traditional style. And yeah, we even have like, we know the guy who did the cut for this. It's Munetaka Abe, who is like a guy who animates a lot of, he apparently did a bunch of the stock footage transformation sequences in a lot of the like from Beast Wars 2, which was a Japan only anime, all the way through Armada.
Okay.
And basically anytime there's 2D animation in this show, it's him.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is such a marked improvement.
It looks insane. Like you look at that and go, "Oh my god, what the fuck happened?" And then you just have to go back. You just have to go back to everybody looking like fucking plasticine.
I like gasped. Like I audibly gasped.
And
it is
yeah, like it really is a shame. Like I think it really was. They just wanted to rush. Like Armada made infinite money, so they just wanted to rush a sequel out, and so they picked the least time-consuming method of animation for this like 3D model shit. Just like you could have taken another year off and made it look like this. You could have just filled out Armada with more repaints, like you were like Armada. The tail end of the Armada line was already like they were importing a bunch of like old Beast Wars figures into the line and stuff, just for like. Because demand was literally so high they didn't have enough toys to sell. But Energon didn't do very well at all. So who'd have thunk it? Effort pays off and rush jobs don't. Anyway, other stuff is going on in this episode. You know, other than the animation looking really, really good for about 2 minutes and just teasing us with what could have been. Like the mind-wiping stuff actually being used for character drama.
Yeah.
Unlike Demolisher, Ironhide didn't just forget he was friends with Scorponok. Ironhide literally forgot about Demolisher. He doesn't think about him anymore. But Scorponok is a going concern for everybody. I feel like it's been a while since we had any character arc at all, really, for anybody. What other notes do you have for this episode?
I don't have a lot. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I have my biggest note was just like the animation thing. I had more notes about like Shock Blast's character assassination and just how like pathetic he is now.
He really is pathetic in these episodes.
And I'm kind of disappointed about that, frankly. Like,
don't worry, he does some of the craziest shit in this show later. He's biding his time before he unleashes truly unhinged shockwave moments.
I mean, I just feel like, for the time being, I mean, maybe that's true. For the time being, he feels like a poor man's Starscream. Just
another, like, guy who used to be somebody and then, you know, fucking... He didn't get brainwashed or anything. In fact, his like capitulation of like, oh, what if I get Inferno for you is to stave off the brainwashing. Because Megatron's like, man, this dude's a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna reformat him.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this. It's like too many chances. Because he's there with Mirage, right? And Mirage is like, fuck this guy for real.
Yeah.
Why are we saving him, Lord Megatron? And he's like, he doesn't deserve to be saved. And Megatron's like, you have a point. What if we just brainwash him? Yeah,
like, he's pretty strong, so we just brainwash him, and, like, he'll be good now. And then Truck was like, wait, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
Hold up. But my only other note is that, like, I know this is, like, something we've seen before, but, like, when when the Decepticons retreat at the end here, the cars just taking off really looks like dog shit. I feel like this is the first time we've seen cars driving on air from the ground.
Yeah. So, there's like the shot of after all of that beautiful animation
Of
the
Starscream and
Inferno
Megatron
torture
leaving the canyon.
Yeah, and then immediately you cut to them turning into their plane modes, and then the animators moving the JPEGs up.
Yeah, again, they play like with JPEGs like dolls the way Tumblr does.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is where we get. So, okay, let's talk about the space thing, because like I said, my memory was, when they get to space, it starts going downhill. That's not entirely true, because like we said, there were actually some episodes that were better than the average.
Yeah, last week was okay. Last week was okay.
I'm amending it. After they go through the rift, we're fucked. Because number one.
So season 2.
Yeah, number one. The setting is absolutely visually incomprehensible. Where is anything?
Well, it's in space.
But where?
It's in space.
So, okay, we've got all of these planets. We've got the Energon sun. We've got Unicron's body somewhere. We have this, like, weird in-between space. We've got a black hole. And I don't know where any of these things are in relation to anywhere. I
know where the black hole is relation to literally everything else, but besides that, I don't know.
But where is it?
It's
Do we
like
know?
To the right.
Of what?
Of everything else.
There's like this thing they keep showing.
They go in from the right. If you look at them entering the black hole on the screen, they go into the right. So like the door's on the right.
Also the Unicron, all of the lights in Unicron went out, so the Decepticon base is like a sickly dark green color now. Everybody's in shadow, and all of the color is like the only color is green and black. It's quite a choice, I will say.
Great for Mirage.
Yeah, because you don't have to look at them.
That's why they call it Mirage.
So yeah, I mean, there's this shot of like Rodimus is floating in front of this like warping Ripley space thing. Is that the entrance to the rift? Where is that? Which side of the rift is that on?
Okay,
where
that
are,
I actually
where am
do.
I?
No, they actually do answer that, to be fair. Yes, that is in front of the rift, and we know it's on the other side of the rift because it's the beacon that guides people through to where they're supposed to be.
But how can they see the beacon if it's on the other side of the rift?
I mean, it's not necessarily to guide them through like the rift itself. It's to guide them once they're on the other side.
But where's the black hole? Where's Jungle Planet? Where's Iron Planet in comparison to each other? Where's the sun? It's up there.
Okay, to be fair, you weren't asking these questions before this.
That's because we haven't gone to the other side of the rift until now.
But like when we were in space generally, you were not asking the questions
Well, that's because
about...
we were mostly around Cybertron. There's Cybertron.
Okay, so where's Cybertron?
Well, it's on the other side of the rift.
Okay,
at some
in
point it will
comparison to
be
Earth.
inside
Where's
of the
Cybertron
rift.
in comparison to Earth? Where's the sun?
Well, it could be any distance away from Earth. We don't know.
Exactly. So, like, I guess my question is, like, I'm not sure why you...
But this is like a separate pocket reality. This is a different thing. This is Alpha Q's world. This is fucking Whoville, okay? Qville. And I don't know where any of the planets are in comparison to each other at all. Or where the black hole is. Like, space is one thing. Space is big, there's planets. But this is like a pocket dimension. This is a pocket reality where, like, these planets are going to be a going concern. We're going to be visiting a lot of these planets over the course of the next few episodes. And the rift is going to continually be talked about as like a big thing. And I just have no idea where any of it is in comparison to anything else. Like, the rift, I know, is somewhere near Cybertron. That's about it. Where is that planet that Downshift and Cliffjumper were driving around on? Where's that? I mean,
again, I don't know, but I also don't know like the relation for anywhere else in this series before this.
Well, the wobbly space effect was just very funny because they show it like 7 times in this episode. Prowl, Landmine, and Hotshot were in a black hole, which mostly means that there's particle effects happening to them. Like, it's just kind of hard to see because there's a bunch of black dust everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what being in a black hole is.
There's a point where it seems like Hotshot's dead forever, but it's fine, actually. Don't worry about it.
He's fine. Don't worry. We can't kill Hotshot. He'll be around forever. But yeah, I mean, I guess the only other thing is like the Inferno torture sequence, just like in Metal Gear.
Yeah. Though this one looked a lot better, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's like an interesting thing.
Those PS1 graphics were working.
Yeah, and we got like this thing of Megatron using his Decepticon brand to like corrupt an Autobot, and Inferno has to like think of the things he loves to resist it.
Yeah, it's like there is like this kind of like old school like Dracula sexual fantasy kind of undertone to this of like
Megatron is a sex Dracula in this show.
Of like this undercurrent of like the overpowering, charismatic, like corrupting force, like stealing your wives.
This is not what Armada Megatron was like at all. He did not have this aspect to his character.
No.
But
no, he just killed people.
He was like a manipulative shithead, and he was like verbally abusive. But like,
first of all, how did he get the ability to brainwash people?
I think it's because he spends so much time inside Unicron. I think he's got devil magic.
I guess. But, like, yeah, that's clearly something he wasn't able to do in Armada. So, yeah. I guess that makes sense, right? Like, if I were Megatron and I had the ability to just brainwash anyone to being my loyal servant, like, if I could get Starscream to do that shit, fuck, yeah, why wouldn't I?
I mean, yeah, Energon Starscream is literally his most loyal guy. Like, even more loyal than Mirage, probably. And that's saying something, because Mirage, he loves Megatron.
Yeah.
Sabrina in the Discord actually wrote like a big ol' like dissertation on the themes of Superlink, and I will say, you said that Superlink wasn't as bad as you thought, and that's correct. Superlink is not one of the worst shows of all time. To get the true experience, you must watch the dub. Superlink does have writing in it. Energon does not. Energon,
you know what Superlink also has? A complete series.
Yeah, it has all of the episodes.
So.
Yeah, remember
and all the scenes in all of those episodes.
All of the Scorponok stuff they've been building up lately. Well, all that comes to a head in an episode that just wasn't dubbed.
Can't wait to not watch it.
What the... How? How did that happen? Anyway... That's and yeah, once again, Imprisoned Inferno. They aired it with a spelling error. Once again, I have to reiterate. Okay, the reason that Armada was so shoddy in a lot of the earlier episodes is because of the extremely crunched production schedule, and that Armada actually aired before Micron Legend.
Yeah.
This airs after Superlink.
Sure does.
Why are they still getting like unfinished rough cuts of animation?
I think the Takara guys did it on purpose. I thought they were like I think they were pissed at Hasbro and were like, "Fuck you guys."
It was a Henry Cavill mustache situation where they're like, "No, you totally can't shave it off." Yeah, I mean, it would be really easy to get a fake mustache, but no, it has to be a real one. So you have to do some Clutch Cargo shit to him in the Justice League movie, where it's like Arnold tricking Stallone into being in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. It's a very famous story. Yeah. You can write all the dissertations you want on Superlink. Yeah, there's themes in there. To really get the real experience, watch all of Energon. Then you'll see. Then you'll see what children back in the day really had to deal with.
When I die, then you will realize.
Exactly. All right, take us through these questions. Once again, so many questions for fucking Energon of all things.
Why am I here? Just to suffer? Every week I answer questions.
Play this like a damn fiddle.
Sure Knock Chat asks, what are the tactical benefits of a big symbol in the sky?
You look at it. Look at it.
I mean, listen, it's worked out pretty well for Batman, so.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. Which character would you have killed in order to revive Padlock? Padlock again.
Yeah, why are we reviving Padlock? I'm not reviving Padlock. Who's talking about reviving Padlock?
Actually, that's not true. I'd kill Snowcat.
No hesitation. Fuck that guy.
I've had enough of the yodeling.
He does it so much in the dub.
I've had enough. Sidewinder Sabrina asks, did you notice in the first episode, and thus the first part of the clip show, that OP Hotshot and Red Alert are sporting their Armada looks in alt colors? And that
this
Red
isn't
Alert was
true.
there?
I watched it. This isn't true. There's no Armada footage in that fucking clip show.
I didn't watch it, so I can't comment.
I can guarantee, like, maybe I missed something or whatever, but like, no, there was no Armada footage in that clip show. Red Alert is not in this show.
Chet asks how much of the series would be improved by using 2D animation instead of 3D
100
CGI.
of it.
Hey, listen to the last 40
of it.
minutes of this episode.
The whole thing. The whole damn animal.
We are so upset about this. I'm using we to talk about both of us, but I will also use that as a royal we. I am extremely upset about it.
It doesn't even have to look like that all the time. That's fine. It can look worse than that. I just need it to not look like this.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the biggest issue for me truly with it's obviously bad, but like we've seen bad animation before. Having it be just CGI on the character models and not on anything else looks horrible.
Yeah.
If they had done the whole thing CGI, I probably wouldn't have minded as much.
I wonder how you'll feel about Cybertron / Galaxy Force once we get there.
We'll find out.
I think those models are better. Like, they have more stuff going on, but it is still the same thing of like the Transformers are CG and the humans are 2D.
It's like, Anyway, Sabrina asks, is the Destron brand something Megatron could do and Galvatron adopted, or do you think this power to warp someone via trauma and anger was a power granted to him via Unicron?
I already said I think that all of this stuff is devil powers. He has devil magic because he was fucking cooking inside that boy for 10 years.
Chetza asks, David K is too good of a Megatron for a show like this. What's the worst possible voice acting choice for Energon Megatron?
Don't take him away. It's all Audrey has.
The late great Gilbert Godfrey.
Starscream!
He would have been a good Starscream, though, genuinely.
You know, it's not that far off from G1 Megatron when you think about it.
Sabrina asks, does having a Decepticon insignia force you to view the leader as one you wish to follow? Is it some kind of inhibitor? Is it formed via hatred and trauma? Are Decepticons one giant metaphor for abusive relationships?
Well, Shock Blast disproves that, because he's got one of those, and he does not want to follow Megatron. He is a rude dude with tude about it. It's less, I don't know, the Decepticon insignia, because there is the whole thing of, like, Scorponok was also rebranded, so, like, there is that aspect of it as well. I don't know. You could, if you squinted, you could make it into that, I think.
Bernajon Herzog asks, if you could add another biome to Cybertron Spectropolis, which would be the funniest?
Ski resort.
Swamp.
Oh!
Bug bodies.
Like a methane. It would be like how on Titan there's like lakes of liquid methane because that exists at a temperature where methane is a liquid.
They go to Swamp City and they're just taking Energon out of New Orleans. Hey, remember how Grimlock in Cyberverse was just running around Earth for ages since dinosaur times? Which Transformer would do best in that situation? Who would be the funniest? Who manages to convince early humans that they're a god, like that old Star Trek episode?
Shockwave. That last one is 100% Shockwave.
Yeah.
We know he's good at this.
Bonus points if they're really into furries.
Yeah. He still makes a fursuit. He's already a giant robot, and he's not among giant robots this time, but he makes a fursuit anyway.
His fursona. That's it. He chose to be it.
He stole Onyx Prime's fucking OC. He fucking downloaded it and recolored it, and now it's his OC.
Oh my god, he made Sonichu. If brainwashing was used more literally, how would you wash your brain? What's the worst thing you've had on yours?
Oh man, you pop it out. You like you dunk it in one of those big old timey laundry baskets. Like the big tin tub. Do the washboard thing. You rub it with a nice actually floor buffer. Get those wrinkles out.
I'd just do some hand sanny.
Yeah, just give it a rub down.
Yeah. The worst stain I've had on mine? I can't really think of anything because it's like...
Get rid of all middle school.
I don't... Like, the most common answer to this is, like, sex stuff. And I've seen a lot of sex stuff unexpectedly, but, like, I don't care about it.
Right. Nah, just wipe all of middle school out. Just it's just a blur.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Like, the stain's too dark to fully remove. You can just kind of, like, clear it out a little bit so you can't, it's just, like, vague shapes. It's like, you remember that it happened, but you don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, my abusive boss. I remember the good parts of working in publishing and not being abused for 2 years by my boss. Every single season wrap-up I've expected to hear that you're watching Beast Wars Season 2 next. Are you procrastinating seeing Code of Hero? Listen. Do not look that episode name up. Just tell me what you think it's about. Listen, we're gonna get there, okay? We're gonna get there.
I can't wait to get there so I can do all my quick strike jokes. Y'all.
Code of Hero. I think it's about My Hero Academia. I think it was prophetic. I think it was a 20-year prophetic episode that aired on Cartoon Network.
It's just Optimus Primal staring into the camera, completely static shot, and he says, "In the future, a man named Horikoshi will invent a manga called My Hero Academia."
This was truly Our Hero Academia.
It's kind of how it ended. It's kind of what the last line was.
I know. He sure did name the last chapter My Hero Academia, didn't he?
It should have been Our Hero Academia.
Should have been. Maybe
communist symbol Our Hero Academia, comrade.
The real academia was the My Heroes you met along the way. Sabrina asked, does Ironhide/Roadbuster have a type? I mean, with Demolisher and Scorponok, who else is my man
There's
after?
no commonalities between those two. What is the commonality?
That they were once on his side and then they betrayed him.
That they have treads? They both turn into, like, treaded vehicles.
They're big and square.
That describes everybody in the show.
I know.
Though.
I'm aware. So he's after everyone in the cast.
So if we go by the biggest and squarest guy, I think next he's going to develop a crush on a Wing Saber.
It's Wing Optimus.
But it's only Wing Optimus.
Yeah. What is your favorite double-edged sword power? Something that can be super useful but has a nasty drawback. Think Kaioken, Curse Seal, Rumble Ball, etc. The drawbacks can either be short or long term. Not for myself, but my favorite in fiction is Kurapika's Nen ability.
I'm always a sucker.
Hunter x Hunter. Which allows him to do basically whatever. Like, literally anything, like, most overpowered shit on God's green earth, but it is killing him very quickly.
That's pretty good. I've always liked the Gear Third drawback from One Piece before the time skip where he turned into a little Luffy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was great, and I missed that. Is funny. It's funny that he deflates like a pop balloon after Gear 4, and that he becomes really, really old after Gear 5. I do really like old Luffy, but the tiny Luffy was so funny.
Are you not familiar with Kurapika's ability in Hunter x Hunter?
I've never watched Hunter x Hunter.
So, basically, he has, like, his entire plot is about getting revenge for his entire clan, which were killed. Because they have eyes that turn red when they get very excited, and if they're killed while their eyes are red, the eyes stay red forever. So they were all killed off so that their eyes could be sold on the black market. That's this very like rare thing, and like they were tortured in front of loved ones so that their eyes became very red, etc. So he has like these chains on his hands. And each finger does something different. And normally it's like, fine, it's whatever. But when he goes into Emperor time, which is when he activates his red eyes, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. However, like, every minute that he's in Emperor time takes a year off of his life.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah. So, pretty cool.
The only Kurapika thing I know about from cultural osmosis is that where he goes to fight a guy and brings a shovel. And
Oh, yeah.
Like, why'd you bring a shovel? It's like, so I can dig your grave.
Yeah,
And then
sure.
he kills the guy and dumps him in the grave.
Sure to do that. Yep.
That's fucking hard as hell.
He's a nuts character, and he's going to die very soon because he keeps using Emperor time.
Yeah.
And he's even like even where it is in the manga, he's like, I gotta stop using Emperor time, but I don't want to.
But it's so cool.
He's like, but if I do, then literally everyone will die on this boat will die, and it's like, all right, cool martyr complex, homie. Since there are so many parallels to Armada and Energon, with Laserwave joining the team around the same time and filling a similar position for a time, how does he compare to fan favorite genius, your friend and mine, to Squid Him himself, Thrust?
I think Thrust is way funnier.
Thrust is like an actual good Starscream.
Yeah, he's like got his own, like he is a rube who gets taken for a ride by Unicron, but also like he was doing treacherous stuff, and also this is the most important thing. He's really funny, especially in the dub.
He is
like
he is really funny, and also like he actually has plans. Like
Yeah.
Shock Blast has no plan.
he literally just decides to betray Megatron for no reason.
Yeah, and it's like
last episode.
Yeah. I find I even within the context of this show, I find the speed at which Shock Blast changes attitude and loyalty is very irritating. If you could fly, how often would you perform a flying pile driver suplex on your enemies? God.
All the time.
I mean, if they couldn't fly, hell yeah.
Yeah, like that's free real estate.
Yeah.
That's a skill issue on your part.
What do you think will happen to Scorponok after the events of this week? I think he's
Nothing.
fine.
I think he's normal.
I mean, I think he's going to have no life forever, basically.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be like a husk of his former self, and Ironhide and Alpha Q are gonna be really sad about it. Who knows if Ironhide or Alpha Q will ever like break through that haze and get to the real Scorponok again? Because once again, that episode doesn't exist in Energon.
Yep, we'll never tell you guys. Who was Alexa talking to over the phone? Before Professor Jones, that is.
This is about the clip show. She was talking to somebody on the phone. She was talking to
Rad.
No, it was like an Earth phone. It's Rad's on Cybertron. She was talking to Charlie XCX.
Yeah, they're discussing their brat summers.
Yeah.
What prehistoric creature do you hope is on the jungle planet? I don't think it works like that.
So we didn't talk about this, but so we go to Jungle Planet, and there's fully just like actual prehistoric animals from Earth. So you see Dunkleosteus, which is like the big scary fish. You see that funny frog guy with the boomerang head, and you see a big dragonfly.
Okay, the big dragonfly was not a real thing.
That thing did not look like the real thing. There were dragonflies the size of eagles back in the Carboniferous period. Big dragonfly was real on Earth.
That's bigger than that.
Yes. Well, I don't know. The bug was pretty big. That was like the size of Misha's torso.
That's what I'm saying.
And Kicker was like, "Oh God, what the fuck is that?" Which is also how I would react by pulling out a gun and shooting it.
Yeah, really.
I hope that. I mean, honestly, they have Dunkleosteus and the funny boomerang head amphibian already. That's two pretty good animals to have on Jungle Planet. I hope they have the shark that has the fucked up buzzsaw mouth. Do you know about the shark?
I do not.
God,
what
the fuck is this?
Do you mean the goblin shark?
No, there's a shark from the Permian that literally, I need to figure out what the fuck this thing is called. But they found this thing's jaw, and they thought that it was like an ammonite at first. So here.
And it was much worse.
This is the jaw. And you may be asking, well, how the fuck did that work?
Oh my
Because that is a...
God.
And people have had a lot of really funny ideas about how the hell this worked in the past. Here's an early one that I think is very funny. Look at this. Someone thought this is how it worked. And this is just a delightful little fellow. This animal is called... This fucked up guy is called Helicoprion, by the way.
Evolutionarily, I cannot imagine what the reasoning behind this would be.
They were just doing... Evolution was like... Mother Nature was drunk off her ass during, like, the Permian period. So this, I think... Here's another one. This is another one that people might have thought. This is not what people think it looks like, but this is another reconstruction that's pretty funny.
Oh, God!
That is a horror movie monster. This is what people think is this thing now. This is what people believe is like the orientation for this fucked up spiral tooth structure.
That it's like on a tongue?
I think, yeah. So it's like it goes into like a sheath in the upper jaw, and I think people believe that it used it to like grind open shellfish, like to crack open.
Sure. What the
like
fuck?
Yeah, just an extremely bizarre animal. I hope that thing is rolling around on Jungle Planet because I just love that guy.
All right, moving on. How about them new guys? One of them looks pretty familiar, if not a bit small. Yeah, that's Wheeljack.
Yeah, that literally is supposed to be Wheeljack. But once again, they already had a guy named Wheeljack in Armada in the dub, so they had to name him a different thing.
Ruby Road Rage asks, could I get a Herzog impression talking about Megatron's reformatting fetish?
You know, he spent so much time unmoving within Unicron. One could say in bondage within Unicron himself, that his world has become about power and control. You know, they say everything is sex except for sex, which is about power, and I believe that this is Megatron's driving philosophy. I think
Let's get screwed.
He's very preoccupied with tentacles and things of that nature. I do believe that there is something to this, and I need to research further.
Ruby also asks, hey, do you think this version, to even speaking about Primus in the dub, is like something to do with Christians and the idea of having a direct line to the not one true God is blasphemous or whatever?
I do think there probably was... This is like, what, 2004? That probably was a consideration, which is very funny, because the next series literally has Primus as a character, and he fist fights Starscream. So, like, in 2006, you could get away with God being there. In this day and age, maybe Skyping with God, people would side-eye that. I mean, this was the mode, like, post 9/11 jingoistic fervor, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're still in that shit.
Absolutely. Sabrina asks, is Optimus not feeling it because he only has one of his former lovers on his team this time around with Skyfire? What happened to his other bedfellows, Red Alert and Scavenger? Hard mode, you can't just say dead.
So...
They eloped.
Yeah. They're on vacation.
Same question, but for Billy and Jim with the same stipulation. I personally feel like Jim became a therapist for post-war Cybertronian.
No, they died.
They also eloped.
Then they died.
Nero from Disney Minus asks, it's been a while since checking in on this, but how's everyone's thought on Megatron's iconic sword? Still the same?
Well, he shoved his iconic sword into his iconic tank, so now it's a tank sword.
Yeah. And he shoved it into...
Which makes it more iconic. And then he shoved it into Scorponok.
He shoved it into Scorponok, and he shoved it into Inferno.
No, he just gave him a titty. He just gave him a titty twister. He didn't use the sword.
Yes, he did.
I don't think he did.
Yes, he did. He stabs him through the stomach.
Well, yeah, but the thing was with the hand. I don't think he uses the sword. Let's see. Hang on. Does he? No, he doesn't. I have video proof. I have image proof. It's not a video. I don't know why I said that. You can clearly see here the sword is on his arm and not inside of Inferno. And he's kind of just he's just putting his hand on Inferno's shoulder. It's like the evil version of...
it shows his sword in him.
Look, continuity isn't the show's strong suit.
I'm telling you, he stabbed him through with the sword. Anyway, I'm sticking to that. Yeah, good stuff. Slipstream Sam asks, if Energon had that insanely nice 2D look for the whole series, do you think Cybertron would be the maligned member of the trilogy instead?
I think so.
Probably.
Well, okay, hang on. If Energon looked better, but everything else was exactly the same, I think Cybertron would still would be the black sheep of the trilogy. Because Cybertron's story is better. It's competently written and dubbed.
That's fair.
But it definitely wouldn't... I think people would definitely talk about Cybertron's animation more. Because, like, if you look at them side by side, yeah, Cybertron still looks kind of janky, but they look way better than the Energon models.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Also, a fun, unrelated challenge for you. Fan cast Adam Sandler, Ryan Reynolds, and Chris Pratt for a hypothetical future TF series / movie.
God. Do I have to?
I mean, I have my answer.
Well, let me hear your answer.
I don't know who would be who, but the Coneheads.
Oh my God.
Conehead spinoff.
Like, I mean, all right, so the Coneheads...
Or everyone's favorite, a Reflector series.
Oh, there we go. Because all of these guys are so generic. Yeah, it would be Reflector, because all of those are kind of the same guy. Yeah, Reflector series.
Very funny stuff. And finally, our last question this week comes from Ruby again. If one clip show was the cost of having one nice, well-animated episode, what if they made a clip show every other week, and then it would be good anime all the time?
I just waited a year and like half a year. They could have done it. They could have just waited a little bit. But they wanted that money.
I mean, I would be down for that because I just wouldn't watch the clip shows.
That would be so many clip shows, though. Holy shit!
I'd be very happy with that.
A wild way to do a show.
It's the Never Believe It podcasting.
Yeah, every episode is just the Jones family talking about what happened last week. Every other episode is just that.
Dr. Jones and me. That's it. We've been Prime Cuts. You can find us on Twitter at PrimeCutsPod. You can find us on Noisepace.xyz, along with a bunch of other really cool episodes. You can find us on any podcast catcher of your choice, basically. And if you do, and you want to give us a 5-star review, why don't you do that? We'd appreciate it. You can find me, I'm Audrey, on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host, and Blue Sky at Optimum Prime, which is my funny robot internet joke. You can listen to the other podcast I do called Pot of Greed, and that is about Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're just starting season 3 of 5Ds. And that's me.
So, I'm Nero. You can follow me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher, on co-host at DragonSmuggler, on Tumblr with Cyclones of the 5th event. My other projects are currently on hiatus. That would be Ready for Heidland and Talk Cycles, but they are out there. They are still a threat.
Yep.
And until next time, I am going to chain up this dangerous criminal and then sit on a rock and contemplate life.
I am going to become suddenly high definition for the next 60 seconds only. Transform and roll out.
Beach.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise.
Transformers